Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we've currently got a few problems here. We've got some trade routes that are inactive, or bad, and I'm just going to get rid of those for now. And we do know that we have some issues specifically with some clothing. So let's get rid of all of these trade routes for now and just leave us in these positive trade routes for the moment. Now, we could do some export routes, but let's take a quick look at our market here, specifically our market goods. Market price in the negative here. We can see that we have quite negative on luxury clothes, and that will help our clothing production if we can bring up the price of that. So I would like to do an export of luxury goods, and that is going to go to, looks like we could send that to the British market. It's a slightly higher amount. The productivity would be higher for the Dutch market. So let's do that, but let's also do the British market here. So something along the lines of that. Now, this deficit is probably fake, but no, it's actually not. Okay, that's where it actually should be. Yeah, that feels more like it. So I want to take a look in our market again here, and specifically, I want to be looking at clothing. Clothing is very expensive. So that is a big part of what we need to do. We're also working on the price of steel, although that has dropped somewhat. The price of coal needs to drop as well. And the engine situation, it just needs to get improved, right? So we're working on all of that. We're going to get these wheat farms, textile mills, and railways done soon enough. But clothing is definitely a problem at this moment. So I want to check in on our existing textile mills. So here in Pernambuco, the primary issue is that we're producing too many luxury clothes, and we're doing that because we want to use rubber. But I don't know that we actually want to do this right now. We might want to change this back, in all actuality, to be craftsman sewing, or maybe even non-luxury clothing. That would just destroy the price of clothing. Okay. Either way we slice it, the price of luxury clothes is going to maximize from this. Okay, so I think what we need to do more than anything is we could import clothing, but I think that we need to boost up the price of luxury clothing because there's a lot of production headroom in these locations, and increasing the price of luxury clothing would be very good. So I'm going to actually do additional export routes here for that. So I want to go to our luxury clothing here, and it's better, but I want to continue to export here as well as here. Okay, so we're just going to maximize our exports of that. So that looks good. Now, what is going on here? Ah, they're fighting Britain. Okay. Well, I wish them luck with that one. We're not making any progress down here with our colonization, but that is fine. Now we're going to finish up our naval power fairly soon. That's looking good. And our radicalism is still ticking down. It did shoot up a fair amount. That would have been when we annexed Ecuador over here. But it is still coming down after that, so that's looking good. Standard of living is in a pretty decent spot right now, by and large. Our number of peasants is still increasing, so that is noted, and our unemployment is a bit up as well. So we're going to have to continue to work on these constructions, for sure. That seems fine for the moment. We do have some low standard of livings in a number of locations, and we're working on that. We do have market access. We are working on that as well. So this railway in Bahia, is that actually necessary? I'm not convinced it is. Also, what's going on up here? Britain is fighting the Netherlands. Okay. Well, have fun with that, Britain. Now, the question is, what do we want to do long-term about Bolivia? Their liberty desire is going back up. If we were to grant them independence, they would almost certainly, establishes a bi-directional truce between Brazil and Bolivia for 60 months. So that would be a 5-year truce. So this is going back up at this point. Due to what? Clout of political lobby interest groups in government. Infamy is most of it. Okay, our infamy is going to drop. That's fine. It's going to start going back negative after our infamy drops. So for the moment, I think that's not actually a big deal. We're going to be finishing up these wheat farms very, very soon, at which point we're going to start construction on these coal mines. Now, that's minus 9.4% construction efficiency. It's not great, but it'll be fine. We have achieved sovereignty at sea, and that sounds good. Splendid. 50% of officers and 25% of servicemen becoming more loyalist. That's pretty solid. I like it. It's not a huge amount of people, but it's good. We like it. So our economy is continuing to grow here. And eventually it will get to the point where we can sustain this construction. But it's not really there yet. The question is, how much are we paying in interest now? 12.6k? That is getting up there. No doubt about it. Also, what nationally owned businesses do we have that are posting losses? Rice farms and sugar plantations? Okay. We should probably consider doing something about that. Specifically the sugar plantations. An export route of sugar would probably be very good. Yeah, we're at -4. That's rubber. Hang on. An export route of rubber would probably be pretty good too. Let's get that going. And then an export route of sugar. So sugar is minus... Yeah, this is really low. We definitely want to do a bunch of sugar exports. Like every single one of these, probably. Export all of the sugar. That looks good. We've got 102 convoys available still, and we could do an export of fruit. We could do an export of coffee. Coffee is probably a better export, but that's nothing really to be done there. Okay, that's noted. We could export tobacco. This is import. Hang on. Export. There we go. We'll export some tobacco here. We've got plenty of convoys for it. Okay. And I want to check in again on coffee. Did I accidentally hit import? I did. Okay, so we're going to export some coffee as well here. We're negative in our bureaucracy, that's understood, and that is because of all of these trade routes, of course. But let's get a government administration going in Minas Gerais. There we go. So something along the lines of that, that'll get us a bunch of exports. We can actually reduce our rubber throughput. That's reasonably fine. Okay, so we're going to finish up these railways in the next 5 weeks. That will be absolutely okay. We're making solid progress on this. So we definitely do need to bring up our current bureaucracy. Our trade routes, we're losing 315 due to. So I want to check in on those trade routes and see how they're doing. Well, for now, we've got this furniture trade route that is negative. We've got this small arms trade route that is negative. We've got this engines trade route that is negative. This is an import route. Okay, get rid of that. This one went back positive. I'm okay with getting rid of the furniture trade route. This is an export of coffee, and I want to continue having that. This is an export of luxury goods. We definitely want to continue having that. The US wants to enter a trade agreement with us. We accept. That actually saved us a lot there. Beautiful. That may have had something to do with finishing construction, actually. But these sugar trade routes will continue to grow. These tobacco trade routes will as well. So for now, that looks relatively good. We're not having major issues there. Medium roast, huh? Coffee as a fuel source, huh? Truly the invisible hand of the market. Do we care about this guy? What would he probably do? Guaranteed liberties? I guess that's fine. And the American model, huh? Sure, that seems fine. The armed forces want us to align with the US, and I'm okay with that. That seems absolutely fine. So we're no longer infamous. We can see that their liberty desire is going down by 0.07 now. That seems good. We are definitely interested in dropping their autonomy, and we'll let that continue to go for the time being. So there is a political movement to enact guaranteed liberties. We have a 48% chance to progress here. Who is opposed? The petite bourgeoisie? I mean, I'm not very surprised about that necessarily. Do we want to do this with them being radicalized? They're only 6.6%. I think we go for it. We're not really utilizing our National Guard anyway, so that seems relatively fine. It's going to create some potential short-term problems, but that's understood. So our infamy is continuing to drop here. And what would this do to our radicalism? Hang on. Let's see here. 370k? Understood. That seems reasonably fine. So we're just building coal mines at this moment. This is not the most efficient thing in the world, but none of these are going to be all that super efficient. Just kind of is what it is. It's unfortunate, to be sure, but I want to check in here. We're at... Okay, we've dropped our number of unemployment and our number of peasants a decent amount. Okay. So that seems relatively fine. Our GDP is growing pretty quickly at this point. So it's clear that we are building in the correct direction right now. That seems good. I want to check in on our market prices on various goods, and we can see that some of these are slightly negative, technically, and I am going to cancel the ones that are slightly negative here. Okay, so this one can go as well as this one. Okay, so something like this. Now this one is slightly negative too. I'm not sure if that will remain the case, but we'll get rid of it. Okay, so something along the lines of that. So we can see at this point, the price of sugar has come up a little bit. It definitely needs to continue to grow, though. Guaranteed Liberties progresses to study. That looks good. And clothing is at 58% now. Okay, I would like to continue to work on that. The main problem, of course, is still luxury goods are too expensive. And we don't have a good balance between them. So building in La Paz is still a very good thing for us. That'll produce 108 clothing per level, and our current market deficit is what? 1.12k. So we need like a bunch of these mills in La Paz. I'm doing 10. So that'll be fine, and we're going to move up this coal mine. We're going to move up this coal mine as well. And we're just going to intersperse these, but it's going to be a little while before this is good to go. I actually want to do it like this-ish, but not like that, like this. Okay. So that'll be fine. I'd rather put more construction into the textile mills than the coal mines at this point. But I definitely do want a bunch of textile mills going into La Paz. There, they're going to produce exclusively regular clothing as opposed to luxury clothing. And that is a very big deal for us. So over here in La Paz, if we check in on the buildings here, we can see their textile mills. I think I went past it. Yep. They're textile mills here. And we can see they are on non-luxury clothing. So each one of these is going to produce what? 108 per level. So that is going to be very good for us. We have a couple of inactive trade routes here. Understood. We now have access to rayon for synthetics plants to make our own silk. That's a good thing. So I'm going to get rid of these 3 trade routes. They are currently inactive. And this sugar route is currently negative. So I guess we can get rid of that one as well, and some of these will continue to grow. So now, what do we want to go for? Well, the answer is conveyors. The question now is, how are we doing on the price of silk with that import inactive? Do we even have any silk imports right now? Yes, we do. So these silk imports are okay, but I do want to get started on a couple of synthetics plants. Specifically, I want to put them in... Where's a location with a lot of jobs? La Paz? I mean, sure, but also Bajo Paraguay. I'm going to put 2 in Bajo Paraguay. So it's going to be something like this. And we're going to put the coal mines up top here, like so. I think I want these 2 textile mills first, before the synthetics plants. Then these coal mines are going to go in kind of like this. And then we can't bring these coal mines up easily yet, but we can bring like 3 of them up like this. And then that's going to end up being somewhere around, I want to bring all of these guys down to somewhere around here or so. This coal mine is going to be brought down as well to be about here. And then this coal mine would be brought down to be about here or so, actually a little lower, about here, like that. That's what we're looking for. Okay, that'll do for now. So we're going to work on coal mines, we're going to work on textile mills, and synthetics plants. Now, these synthetics plants, they're going to want to be on rayon, just right off the bat. We're not going to produce dyes. Or actually, I think we'll produce some dyes. What are we going to produce out of that with it on synthetics like that? So that is going to be 40 dyes, 40 silk. Yes. That looks good. So that'll be absolutely fine. We're going to get that going. I would like to have a domestic source of silk. That is one of the few things that we can't produce ourselves. Bolivia is currently rebellious. Yeah, I mean, that's to be expected. It's going pretty well, though. Yeah, minus 0.11 is fine. So a clause is coming to town. Sure. Let's go for enactment success chance here, I think, and we can do approval of the commons. That'll be fine. So this is up to 52%, and yeah, this is kind of a little bit radical, but I think overall, yeah, we are dropping. So it seems relatively fine there. The thing that isn't relatively fine is our current debt situation, but it's acceptable for the time being. We do have some subsidies going on, mostly from the railways, and we can definitely check in on what we've got going on with those. So if we look in on these railways, I want to go down to railways. They're definitely, actually it should be under all, or actually under development. We want to check in here, and we want to subsidize some of these, but by no means all of them. So ones like this probably doesn't need to be subsidized anymore. I don't think. Productivity is perhaps negative here. Okay. Let's unsubsidize every single one of these railways. And it's going to cause problems. And we'll address those problems as they come up. Is the way that this is going to go. So we're going to unsubsidize the railways. We're paying way less in subsidies now. That is good. And then we'll just see which ones cause us issues, because I think we were subsidizing railways that we did not need to. So that is fine. We're going to continue to work on this, and we're continuing to work our way through here as well. So that seems okay. This coal mine can be moved up, and that means, of course, that these coal mines can be moved up. We're going to be finishing a couple of textile mills in La Paz in just a couple of weeks here. So this looks magnificent. How are we doing on the price of clothing right now? The answer is 43% still. Okay, that is going to continue to come down, and it's going to come down pretty markedly. Glass is a little bit up there. Okay, let's take a look at the glass industries, and that is fully employed, fully employed. So we actually just need to expand glassworks. Done. Somewhere around there. 10 of these. That's going to be a little slow on the construction efficiency, but we're going to move the textile mills up. I want to move these coal mines and synthetics plants up as well. Something like this. We definitely need to get a bunch of construction done here. So that's fine. Glass coming up in price is kind of a good thing. In a way, we can definitely address that. As opposed to, like, engines, where we have to address indirect means. But the glassworks, those can simply expand, and that looks great. So that is wonderful. We're now voting on guaranteed liberties. Seems fine. And these coal mines are going to continue to be worked through. I do want to maybe not be working exclusively on these glassworks. Rubber has been discovered in La Paz. That's not shocking. And these textile mills are going to want to be constructed eventually as well. I think for the moment, we're going to leave this be, though. We've got a bunch of constructions in the queue here, and I'd definitely like to work through this a bit. Our economy is currently not exactly stagnant, but it is not exactly growing at the rate it was. So that's understood. We probably have some issues with qualifications in some of these areas, and that's probably what's stalling us out a little bit here, but we definitely need to get going on some of this production capacity, and our qualifications are growing reasonably quickly. We could actually increase our innovations, and that may be something that we want to do. So each of these universities is currently getting us 3 innovations, and we could bump this up by 6. So we wouldn't need very much here, realistically. It would be cheapest, in theory, in Ecuador. Okay, we can build 2 in Ecuador. I'm actually going to build 3 universities in Ecuador. This is going to take a little while, minus 50%. Never mind, we're not building this in Ecuador. We're going to build it in perhaps, yeah, not Pastaza. We're going to build it in like Mato Grosso. Nope, 45.9. Chaco. There we go. 12 weeks. That's much better. I'm going to place this coal mine here. I'm going to place this coal mine here, and this coal mine is going to be moved up a bit as well. I want to move up all of the coal mines that are over here. So I'm going to move all of these up like so, and then we're going to move this university to the top. This university is going to go here, and then this coal mine should really be up at the top here. So that's going to be moved like so. Then this synthetics plant is going to go here. This synthetics plant is going to go here. This university is not exactly super necessary. I'm going to put it here, and then this glassworks here like this, and then this coal mine is going to go like that. And then we can intersperse like textile mills and glassworks, so it can go something kind of like this-ish. But this is a lot of construction that we have queued up here. Gold has been depleted in Minas Gerais. Does that mean that we can build gold mines there? It does. We're going to build that as a top priority. Okay. So we're going to get that done. That seems fine. We now have guaranteed liberties. This is very good for us. And if we go into our institutions, we can potentially bring up our home affairs, which again would be very, very good for us. We're going to definitely do that. So we're going to bring that straight on up. That sounds good. I'm not going to boost up our colonial affairs at this time. We could bring up social security. We aren't really paying much in welfare at this moment, so let's do that. Oil has been discovered in Rio Grande do Sul, which is great. A donation of knowledge. A university in Santa Fe from the industrialists. Done. Also, gold fields have been depleted in Minas Gerais again. Is that the same one? Yes, it is. Okay. So that seems fine. That now means that we don't need this university. So we're going to get rid of that. That sounds great. And then over here, we'll do something like this. And then this textile mill can be moved up to be about here. Perfect. That looks excellent. So we're going to staff that up, and that means that we only need the 2 universities to get back to our innovation cap. That sounds wonderful. And we're going to continue to work on these coal mines, gold mines. That'll all be fine. Okay, so we have a new election coming in and a new party formed. This is not great in terms of the split here. Well, we'll see what it ends up looking like. We're going to have to go with a coalition government for sure. And this is currently inactive, and this is currently inactive. Okay, so that was one of our tobacco and luxury clothes trade routes. So I definitely want to find a new trade route for tobacco here. This is going to be to the American market. Okay, that seems fine. And then we'll need one for luxury clothes as well. Those are all negative. Okay, sure. Java is now wary towards us. Sure. So 10% education access and qualifications is actually really good for us here, and we're going to take that. We're not planning on having our standard of living going down anytime soon. It should just be going up for the moment, so that seems fine. We can suppress the positivists, but I don't see a need to at this moment. So we're going to avoid that for right now. We could enact universal suffrage. This is actually a really good thing to do. Who would be opposed to this? This would radicalize the armed forces. But I think we got to do it. We'll get started on that, and I don't think that'll happen before this election, but we'll get started on it, and we'll see how that ends up going. It would be really, really good to get these 1.33 million individuals loyal. That is basically a full third of our current radicalism. That would be phenomenal. It is going to create some radicalism, but we'll see if we manage to get this through. I don't think it'll happen before the election, right? Yeah, almost. It can't happen before the election. It's not mathematically possible, but that's okay. So that seems fine. We're finishing up our gold mine in Minas Gerais. That is great. And we're going to continue to work our way through these constructions. Our GDP is currently idling a little bit, but I believe this is due to qualifications in particular locations, and we'll get to that. We will definitely get to that. Our qualifications are improving. Now, glass is currently expensive, as is clothing. We're working on both of those, and we're working on getting a source of silk. And then we're going to work on glass after that. And then we've got these textile mills, and then we've got these glass works here. We can intersperse the textile mills and the glass works kind of like so. So this seems absolutely fine for right now. It's going to take a little bit of time to get this all done, but yeah, this seems absolutely okay. We can then alternate between lead and iron mines as well after that. Have it be something kind of like this. Amazonian uprising up there, huh? Okay. That is noted. I don't think they're going to succeed, but it's worth a try. So yeah, it can be something like this. It's going to take us 3 years currently to get through this construction queue, and to be honest, that's not so bad as far as the timing goes. What is a little bad is our current financial situation. However, with universal suffrage, we might be able to get some interesting taxation changes, which would be good. We'd be very glad about that. Now, we're running this tax level at the moment, and we can probably bump this up. New Granada wants to sway us. We're going to decline. I'm not interested. Oof. Interesting time to require coughing. Okay, so 20% enactment success chance sounds good. We're at 61% and we pass directly through to study. Excellent. Well, apparently my voice is dying, so it's a good thing that it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to continue to grow our GDP. We've got a few things that we really quite desperately need to build here, and that'll be great. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kintogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.